Hello and welcome to Author Conversations. Again, I'm Chris Dabbs, and well, today we have got a very special author with us. Now, what happens? Let me ask you this question. When a life that looks settled from the outside, right, begins to unravel from within? Well, my guest today is Maree Deeley, author of The Harvest Always Comes, a novel that moves from Norfolk in the UK, like southeast, eastish kind of way, all the way up to the Scottish Highlands, and explores love, marriage, ambition, jealousy, temptation, and the consequences of the choices that we make. See, there's always a lesson somewhere, isn't there?
Indeed.
Exactly. At the center of the story are Felicity and Richard, a couple whose marriage has drifted into distance and routine, quite commonplace, I think, sometimes. But as old relationships resurface and new attractions emerge, their lives, yep, you guessed it, become increasingly complicated. And then, I can't believe you did this to us, Marie, there is another question hanging over the entire story, and that is a body in the bracken. And is it a murder? Well, perhaps. So Marie brings an unusual perspective to her fiction. Her life and work have included, well, you've kind of mentioned it earlier for us, decades as a psychotherapist, being a clinical hypnotherapist, life coach, and a healer, alongside your work as an artist and a poet. Incredible. You are a busy person, I think. Now, she says that
You just
Marie.
missed out something there, Chris.
Oh, did I? I'd done this something
You
else.
did. You missed out the artist, painting, exhibitions. There's quite a lot, and 9 albums. I'm on album number 10 now, but 9 you can purchase called Love in the Afternoon.
Okay, we can tell us about that in a minute then. Oh, I love that. I don't know how you had time to write the book, but there you go.
Through the night. Through the night.
Through the night, yeah, quite. Well, you've said that your inspiration comes from a full and sometimes extraordinary life, and that's not wrong, is it? Including shocking and even life-threatening experiences. Yeah, together with a lifelong fascination with this thing up here, the human mind. And the Harvest Always Comes is only the beginning, I believe, right? Marie is already working on her next novel, Eyes of Innocence, which she describes as an even more powerful and emotionally charged story. So, Maree Deeley, I could see you are so eager to join. So, welcome to Author Conversations. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Just full of energy and ready to get on with chapter 4 of the new book, which you just mentioned, Eyes of Innocence. And I'm about to give myself, I haven't done this before, but I'm going to give myself a little chunk of time that is solely for writing, for once in my life, because I do juggle. It's like being a juggler with plates on sticks. I'm doing therapy. I'm sorting somebody's life out. I'm saving somebody's life, turning them round full circle, getting them to just to achieve what they really want to achieve, be what they want to be. And when that's done, and I'm very disciplined with that, once that's all done, then can come the creative bit. And so sometimes I will write through the night, and that's valuable. Beautiful time. It's quiet time. You can hear a pin drop. It's utterly beautiful. But that is short for me because my clients still come first. You know, I still have to earn a living until I am that top writer who can write a little and live a lot and so on and so forth. But the people that actually are behind all of this are my clients. And, you know, they're wonderful people looking for things that they didn't think they could find. And through me and the therapy, I make sure they do find it.
And it's so important, isn't it, to be able to, to have therapy if you need it. Which, and my wife is a Samaritan. She's been doing that for a while. And so, yeah, I get that completely. You know, it's about helping people and as you say, saving lives as well. But you do that, but you do everything else as well. I mean, you've described yourself as well as a versatile and kind of like imaginative writer, haven't you? So
Yes.
how would you describe yourself as a writer then? And what does that actually mean when you get the chance to sit down to create a story rather than just take 10 minutes to do a little bit?
Well, how would I describe that? In many different ways. It's exciting. It will not be put in a box. the words, the thoughts, the feelings, the same when I'm doing poetry, whether I'm writing the novel. They're producing themselves. It's like a little factory. It's busy making itself a journey. It's making itself a story, and I store it up. And eventually, there's nothing but I've got to stop and I've got to go and write it. And that might be 2 or 3 chapters. It might be one. I don't put a time limit on it. And if I can't stop writing, it means I must do it. And if it's all through the night, then so be it. And I'm still there, Chris, I'm still there for clients who phone me at 2, 3, 4 in the morning. And, they're feeling suicidal, they need help, and they get that help. I've even done calls 24/7. I've gone out cold winter evenings and saved lives, saved people going into a river. And, and come back and had that great big long cup of tea and thought, I'm so wide awake. I need to write. I need to write. I'm not going to go to bed. I'm going to write.
No, and decompress, right? After helping somebody like that, I imagine, and
Yes.
it can be quite stressful.
A lot of meditation. A lot of meditation.
Wow, wow. So that's amazing. So basically everything is building up inside you creatively, and then it just has to come out. In that, in that respect.
Yes.
No, that's fantastic, isn't it? I mean, that's great. So, I mean, let's talk about the book then. So, for somebody discovering The Harvest Always Comes for the very first time, I mean, on the surface, it looks like we've got relationships, business, love, loss, and a journey from Norfolk to the Scottish Highlands. That's on the surface, though. But what's the emotional heart of the story for you and everyone that's going to be reading it?
Yeah, well, I hope that the reader will pick up on perhaps suddenly think, gosh, that's me. I'm a bit like Felicity, or I'm a bit like the Colonel's wife, and they find themselves and they find behavioral patterns there. And so the book, I hope, will fascinate, intrigue, make you smile, make you cry, make you laugh. And in the end of the day, you might actually find yourself not only as part of that book itself, but one of the characters. Maybe you have traits similar to some of the people in the book. Then you find a solution as well. Although it's not written therapeutically at all, it's written from life experience, love, loss, and hopefully an ending that is suitable for, without giving anything away to people who haven't read it, but they read it and I think they'll be satisfied. It's not one of those books, and nor was it intended. It was intended to wrap things up, to give hope, to have people realize, we can do this. We don't need to suffer something that's not right. We can change things and do it in a way that is right for them. So it's a standalone. I've been asked that before. Is there a follow-on to The Harvest Always Comes? Right now, no. It's a completely standalone book. And it's one that I'm getting feedback from people who've read it saying, loved it, took it on holiday, couldn't put it down. Wanted to keep turning pages. I needed to know what was happening. I needed to know what would happen to Felicity, and is Richard really a baddie? And was that a murder? Or maybe it was a mistake. And so they're given lots of things to play with. They will find themselves or somebody they know, maybe their partner. Maybe their partner's a bit like Richard, who knows? But it's a very real book. It's a real book. And yeah, you can take it on holiday and have fun reading it. Most of the people who've written back to me have said, couldn't put it down, wanted to do it in one go, wanted to keep reading. That's lovely. Something's right there.
Yeah, that must be really nice to hear that, Ron, from something.
Beautiful. Yeah, really beautiful because, I'm not expectant. I'm open to what anybody says, So far, nobody has written and said, well, I really didn't like that. Nobody, absolutely nobody. So I've had really positive comments, and that's really like gold dust It is. It's like gold dust. So
Sorry.
number 2, Eyes of Innocence, is going to blow a lot of people out of the water. It's a completely different book. Completely different. Yeah. It's beyond fascinating. It's exciting. It's something that I think people will want more of. They would maybe want an add-on to Eyes of Innocence. But it's going to take the life and lives of a family and go through difficult subjects. Subjects that are very pertinent in life today. Things that we hear every day. People are desensitized from some of them, where children are abused and so on and so forth. It'll cover things, and I hope, in a very real way, but there's a beauty within that will come out of that book. And Eyes of Innocence, kind of the title says it all, but it says whatever you want it to say.
Absolutely. And when are we looking for that book to drop?
I'm at chapter 4/5 right now, and I would say it would be. I've got so much to do. I think it won't be before the end of autumn.
Okay.
That's really, really pushing it nice and
Wow.
hard.
Yeah, well, it is, isn't it? Right. Okay. So that's end of autumn 2026, right? So,
Yes.
okay. Well, don't rush it.
No, no, no.
So, because yeah, we're nearly in autumn now at the time of recording. But anyway, okay. Now that's good. Well, let's get back to The Harvest Always Comes then. Because,
Yes.
I don't know anything about your new book, but I mean, obviously tantalized by it. But The Harvest Always Comes. I mean, I've got to ask you a question about that.
Mhm.
What is that title about? I've got no idea.
The title.
Hmm.
Right. Well, many moons ago, I grew up on a farm with a great uncle. And the times must have been a little bit hard weather-wise even then. And he used to look out the window and he would sort of say, well, it's not looking good. But the harvest always comes. Now, there's a beautiful phrase, and I've used it lots. I think I've used it to both of my sons who have their own lives and all over the world now. But, when they would be impatient or they'd say, oh, I want this and I need this and I want that now. And now doesn't always happen. You've got to be a bit more patient. And I used to say to them, the harvest always comes. And they say, oh, well, that was a bit interesting, but what does it really mean? But the harvest does always come. It might not be a good one, like we're facing right now with the lack of water and climate change and everything else, but it does come. It may be a really good one, a very poor one, sort of half-hearted. Harvest always comes, but it does come.
That makes sense now. Yeah, I like that. So in
Yeah,
other
but
words,
in life, that's to do with farming, but you can take it into every part of your life, You're waiting, you're wanting something to happen, but maybe you need to make some kind of change before you get that harvest, but it does always come.
no, exactly. Oh, okay, so that works in quite well then, doesn't it, with the book? Because if you think about it, the main characters, Richard and Felicity, as I said earlier on, Richard appears almost kind of defeated by life, I think, and I think that's one of the things that a lot of people will resonate with as we get older, perhaps through our careers and things like that. At some stage or other.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. But
Yes.
Felicity, though, develops, doesn't she? I mean, what do you describe, what you've described rather, as I guess, a thirst for life. So tell us about these two characters, how they met, do all of that sort of good stuff.
Well, the backdrop has to be it was young love, and like most young love, they think it's going to be forever. Excuse me. And then suddenly things go a bit haywire. There's two businesses, there's two people, they're pulling apart. They're not really coming together and being very strong. They're almost individually doing their own thing, looking at the other one and thinking, well, this is not really working. But they're not doing anything about it as such in the beginning. But you can see as the story unfolds, she has the impetus, she has a need, she has a thirst. There's so many things not being met within her life. And but she's determined she's going to have what it is she really does want. She wants to be fulfilled. And I mean, don't we all? But it doesn't always happen. Doesn't always happen. And unfortunately, I think probably Richard comes across as somebody who is now a little bit, you used the word defeated, and I think he does feel that he's not pulling forward, he's not being ultra successful, it's not even really all that exciting, although he might have seemed that in the beginning. And that's something I hear every other day within relationships. You know, people who say, well, I thought this would happen. I wanted that. You know, I was in love. I was in love with him, but I'm not now. But maybe it could change. But then it takes two people to make it change. And often two people are not, they're not prepared to do it. You know, it's not working.
Difficult.
So, yeah, you've got people, characters pulling apart. She's becoming quite successful, and he's not really liking it. He's not liking it at all. And so there's jealousies and all sorts of things going on there. And then surprise relationships that once were coming to fruition again. Something, you know, is clicking there. And suddenly she realizes, you know, there is another way, there is another life.
Yeah, I think that this is very true nowadays, isn't it? And I think that, you know, people can, because people connect with people that they haven't spoken to for decades, even sometimes. You know, these things can happen. I think it's probably happening more and more. And you're in the right, you know, space to be able to tell us whether that's the case, right? Social
Yes.
media, all that sort of thing. I mean, I get people connecting with me that I knew when I was 16 years old. You know, quite amazing. You know, it's nice.
And that's
don't get
quite
me wrong.
lovely, isn't it?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
that
totally.
is really lovely. Mm.
Yeah, it's nice to know that, you know, your friends, you made an impact at that time and it was worth, you know, contacting again. So I mean, yeah, okay. So do you want readers then? You got Richard and Felicity. Is it Team Richard and Team Felicity? And you want people to take sides? Or do you want people to just sort of like understand both of them and understand where the reader sits within that kind of sphere, if you like?
Yes. Well, you know, really, one of my readers contacted me, and it was a guy in his late 70s, and he picked this book up and thought, I like the picture on it. I like the sound of that. I like the harvest always comes. It says something to me. And opened it and started and didn't put it down at all, and did it in one night till the early hours in the morning, and actually wrote to me to say, you opened up wonderful memories for me. You opened up the Scottish Highlands and how much I actually love them. You opened up Aberdeen. Aberdeen was a place that he had experienced in all sorts of different ways. It made him feel younger. It made him go into all these things that he had felt as a younger man. Now, I didn't necessarily say, well, the book is written for women. It was written for anybody, male or female. And it was lovely for me to discover what he had read into it, how it had made him feel, and it had sparked memories, and so beautiful. Really, really beautiful. You know, he's nearer to 80 than anything else. And then I have a very young woman who has read it, and she said, I just want more. I want more. It's very real, and it's not like nobody's sitting on their mobile phone, she said. Nobody's on their mobile phone. It's wonderful. And they communicate in different ways, and a look here and a word there. And nowadays we're all sitting doing this.
Yeah.
In restaurants, we're not even talking to the other person.
Don't get me started on that.
So,
But yeah.
here I had suddenly a man in his almost 80s and a girl who was in her 20s, and they were both finding some things that were very interesting to them and very amazing in that book.
Wow. Well, that's well brilliant. I mean, again, that must have been so nice to hear. I can hear that you're proud of those comments and you're proud
Oh,
that you've
yeah.
helped
I
those
mean,
people.
lovely to listen to them.
Yeah,
Absolutely lovely.
absolutely. So, okay, I've got to ask you if you just want the book is for everyone. It's not about taking sides or anything else like that. Mario, okay, he enters Felicity's life. There's something going on, awakens something within her. What does Mario represent then? Is it that she's attracted to him, or just the person that she is now has become when she's with him, if you see what I mean? So the difference between her normal life and this life with Mario.
Yes. Yes. Well, it's like a lump of granite can be very heavy and very seemingly boring, but in the light, you can see mica and feldspar sparkling. Mario has to be either the mica or the feldspar in her life. And he adds that sparkle that, if you like, he reminds her of how things could have been, perhaps. Most of us have been down a road where we think, well, what did we do that for? What were we chasing? What were we looking for? Or maybe we were too young. Maybe we just didn't realize. And suddenly, someone like Mario comes into your life, and in her case, there's a bit of sparkle there. There's more than a bit of sparkle there,
Yeah.
And it reminds her of what she might have had, could have had. I think it kind of gives her a little awakening. That would be the best way to put it. It's an awakening.
Yeah. Which
And
is,
sometimes we sleep through awakenings,
oh yeah. So sometimes we hide from the awakenings, I think, as
Yes.
well, right? So
Yes. Oh, that's too difficult. We won't look at that.
yeah.
And then it maybe returns again and again, and you suddenly think, oh, maybe I do need to look at that. What is really going on there? Was
Exactly.
it a love lost? Maybe,
Well, this or love is not even found at the time, but suddenly realized and matured in one's mind over time, I guess, right? So okay, well, this is going to be it's very different to the other book that you're writing at the moment, than Eyes of Innocence, from what you say. Yeah, exactly. Well, Marie, we're coming close to the end of our time.
Oh,
I'm
what
sure
a
you.
shame.
I know. I'm sure you've said that many times in your career, right? But I mean, we've got time for a couple more. So I think at the end of the day, what we really want to know, I guess, is you've described yourself as having all of these different parts of your life, all these different facets. So you've got, you've got albums, you've released albums, you're an artist. Am I wrong here, or did you design the cover as well?
Yes, I did. It's a painting, what really I perceive as the harvest always coming, And I thought, wouldn't it be nice to have a wraparound feeling of the harvest? And there it is. So the publishers liked it and liked the idea. And they said, well, if you can send pictures, send pictures. And, if we like it, if we feel it says the harvest always comes, we'll run with it. But if we don't, we'll choose something else and you can approve it. So I wasn't, saying, no, you must have that. But I was happy when they came back and said, we like it. In fact, we love it. It's vibrant, and it conjures up lots of feelings.
Oh, wonderful. And just briefly, then let's touch on is it music? Your albums? I assume.
My albums, I've got nearly 10, and the last one, number 9, is called Love in the Afternoon. And it's very easy to find because it's on every digital platform imaginable.
Yeah,
And
brilliant.
you can download it, you can buy the whole album.
What
You
sort of
buy one
music?
song.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, no, that's useful as well, actually. But what sort of music is it? What genre?
Oh goodness, I've covered everything. Pop, very big songs, movie songs. I've written quite a few of the songs myself. So I've covered absolutely everything. Seriously.
You,
I really wanted to do that, say, I don't want to get stuck in one genre only. Like, I don't want to get stuck in only one type of writing. And that's why this one it'll be a blockbuster. It could be a movie.
well, you are so busy. It's incredible that you found the time. So, briefly, how did you find the publishing process then? Because this is your first published novel, isn't it?
Yes. Yes. Well, it's been interesting. And it still is. But I'm always saying things like this, and I really mean it. Everything that really works out comes from super amazing listening and communication. It is. Communication is everything, and I breakdown of communication is what's causing most of the disastrous stuff in the world today. It's, politicians that don't communicate properly or they tell lies, I mean, it's just not on. Marriage is going down the drain because there's no communication, and that's sad. So really, communication to me is everything. And I have been able to communicate really, I think, effectively with them and them with me. They're prepared to listen. And I've learned a lot already about publishing from them, And yeah, I hope I have a long, lengthy relationship and that they take the next book absolutely and completely. And we do think movie because I've had someone who, sadly, he's died now, but he was at the head of Star Wars and everything that was written in that. He okayed or he didn't. Now, he was the most fascinating man, and I did his therapy for him. He came up from London. And he read some of my writing. And he said to me in a letter, you must create this. It must be a movie. You must do it.
Wow.
Sadly, Robert's no longer with us, but I feel his presence. I really do. I feel his presence. And I will, whatever I can do to bring that forward, to make Eyes of Innocence into a movie, I intend to do. I really do.
Good. Well, that's all right then, and hopefully I can play a little bit of a part with this today, and then speak to you again, of course, once you've published Eyes of Innocence as well. That
Wouldn't it be wonderful to do it halfway through?
halfway through. What, halfway through the writing? Oh, right. I see what you mean. Yeah, well, that would be wonderful. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, editorially. So, yeah, totally. Well, keep reading and keep listening and watching, everybody, because you never know. Might be the next thing. So, my last question then, apart from just wrapping things up, is so when somebody finishes, the harvest always comes.
Yes.
Okay, and closes that final page, and they actually manage to put the book down. What do you hope stays with them?
Hope. Hope springing eternal, never giving up, always saying, I'm carry on, carry on. Don't sit down, don't put your hands up in the air and say, I can't. Take the T off the word and you've got can. You can do it.
And there you go.
Believe in yourself.
Self-belief.
Believe in yourself. Really. Even if nobody else seems to believe in you, you believe in yourself and you'll get there.
So true. Words of wisdom and obviously words of experience as well. So there we are. Maree Deeley. Thank you. The harvest always comes. It takes readers into a world of, well, as you've been hearing, right? A world of relationships, ambition, temptation, jealousy, and unexpected intrigue, which we purposely did not cover the murder side of things. And moving from Norfolk to the Scottish Highlands as well. So, Maree, you're working, as we said, on Eyes of Innocence. If anyone wants to come up and take a look and help with the screenplay, please do. Which promises a very different story, though, as we've been saying.
Yes, going to be very different content. It's not linked in any way. They're both quite standalone. And I do see the second one being turned into a movie. I really do.
Good. Well, that's what we're going to hope.
Written in pieces of music that would go ideally with it.
Very handy. Yes. Okay. So it's just down to you now to tell us about your website and how people can contact you and sort of like, obviously buy your books and albums and things like that.
Yes, yes. Well, through the publisher, obviously, Amazon will deliver the book the next day, and Maree Deeley music.co is where you'll find lots of the music. But if you put my name into the internet to any digital platform, just put Maree Deeley Music and it'll send you in all the right directions. Spotify, Amazon, it's in France, it's all over the place. And it's really so exciting. It truly is very exciting. And there's messages in the songs as well. They're really profound, deep messages there.
Good. Well, that's all right then. We look forward to that. And Marie Dei, thank you. Unfortunately, we're out of time.
We could talk forever.
I know.
Thank you so much, Chris. It's been a treat for me. It's been an absolute pleasure.
And it's been my honour to talk to you, Maree Deeley. Thank you very much for joining us on Author Conversations. Catch up with us next time, but make sure that you obviously look at the social media of Maree, look at buying the books and the albums and everything else. Somebody who's so prolifically creative, we need to support, I think. So, Maree Deeley, thank you again for joining me.
Thank you as well, Chris. Take care. Lovely talking to you.
And to you also. See you then. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. If you enjoyed this conversation, you can watch more Author Conversations here.